And welcome back. It's JWalter here, and hope you're having an awesome day, by the way. In today's video, I'm going to take a deep dive into price reductions. This is because home sellers are reducing their asking prices in order to attract a home buyer because home buying demand has been decreasing. So that's the topic of today's video. I'm actually going to share a new report from Redfin that was actually just published today at the time of this video, which is the 27th of May. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, then make sure you do so. I post the latest housing market trends so you can make a more informed decision about whether you should buy or sell a house. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in here. So it says the sudden surge in mortgage rates has reduced home buyers' budgets in many markets, forcing sellers to reset their price expectations. So a lot of home sellers right now are seeing headlines regarding record high home prices. They believe they still can sell their house for way over the asking price and get 50 offers, but housing demand has started to decrease, so they have to reset their expectations, right? So we're seeing a lot of overzealous sellers right now. Also, it's really interesting to see here, this report here is basically sharing that the share of price reductions is more so in migration hotspots. So in other words, people moving from more expensive areas to more affordable areas. Therefore, those more affordable areas are seeing more price reductions than other areas across the country here. And it says here in this report that in Boise, Idaho, home prices increased 62% over the past 2 years. How insane is that? I mean, historically speaking, home prices should increase in the range of 3 to 5%. Each year, and not 62% over the past 2 years. Absolutely insane and definitely not sustainable, right? However, 41% of home sellers in Boise dropped their asking price in April, the largest share among the 108 metros included in their analysis here. That's actually up from 10% from 1 year ago. So quite the anomaly, right? Home prices increased by 62% in 2 years. However, approximately 4 of every 10 home sellers have reduced their asking price in April. So what I did for you guys is actually go onto Google, and I just Googled Boise, Idaho Association of Realtors. So if you are living anywhere across the United States, if you want to get trends or housing market trends in your area, then just Google your city and state and then add Association of Realtors. So for example, in Sacramento, where I live and work as a real estate agent, we have the Sacramento Association of Realtors. They actually post housing market stats on a monthly basis. Some associations don't provide that on a public website. However, the Boise Regional Association of Realtors does. So have a look at this because this is pretty mind-blowing here. The median sold price in Ada County, which is, I actually had to Google that. In Ada County, which is in Idaho, that makes up basically the greater Boise area. It includes all these other cities here as well, but basically includes Boise, Idaho, the largest city in Idaho here. So in that county, the median sold price reached $595,000 in April 2022, an increase of almost 24% in one single year. This is also a new record for the county here. Meanwhile, pending home sales in this county here declined by 12.1%. Also, 53.2% of buyers paid over the list price, indicating that competition remains very strong. However, take a look at this because this is mind-blowing here. Buyers may have been discouraged by increasing rates and prices, but there is some good news. In April, inventory increased by 170% compared to the same month last year. So in one single month, inventory increased by 170% in Ada County, which makes up Boise, Idaho here. And it says here, while supply is still constrained, especially at the lower price points, more year-over-year inventory is a sign we may be seeing a shift to a more balanced real estate market. In any case, I thought that was interesting to share because they saw a big increase of housing supply. Therefore, it makes sense they're seeing a big increase in the number of home sellers reducing their asking prices. In any case, going back to this report from Redfin, it says Cape Coral, Florida, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Sacramento rounded out the top 5 markets that are driving the national rate of price drop to its highest level since October of 2019, as they reported to you guys a couple of days ago. And Daryl Fairweather, who is Redfin's chief economist, had this to say. Many places like Boise or Sacramento that saw a surge in migration and a sharp increase in home prices over the past 2 years have now seen an abrupt drop in demand, leading sellers to drop their asking prices with increasing frequency. So as you guys all know, I'm a real estate agent here in Sacramento, and last year my team and I helped more people move to this area than we ever had before. A lot of people moved from LA, the Bay Area, Texas, other states like New York City, for example, into Sacramento because Home prices here are much more affordable within outlying cities around the Sacramento area. But we're starting to see a softening of housing demand here in the Sacramento area as well. So I actually want to share some brief stats with you guys regarding that. So have a look at this. This is actually data I pulled from our multiple listing service here in the Sacramento area, or I should say the greater Sacramento area. This includes Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties. If you're not familiar with that, that's basically the greater Sacramento area within a 30-minute drive of Sacramento, which is basically in the middle of the state here. But I want to point this out because, we're seeing a big drop in demand, and then leading sellers are dropping their asking prices. The reason why we're seeing an increase of home sellers reducing their asking prices is because we saw a huge uptick in housing supply like we did in Boise, Idaho. Not as much as compared to Boise, Idaho, but still a significant change though. So have a look at this. Compared to 1 month ago, this is March 2022 compared to April 2022. Look at that. For the number of houses for sale, again, this is housing inventory. It increased in one single month, 56.1%. Absolutely insane because compared to 1 year ago, inventory only increased by 51%. So basically in one single month, inventory increased by a huge amount, 56%. So even though we saw this big increase of housing inventory in Sacramento area, the number of pending home sales, again, that's when a home seller accepts an offer from a home buyer, that decreased by 7.2%. Meanwhile, home prices are up about 14% compared to 1 year ago in the Sacramento region. In any case, I thought that was interesting to share because we're starting to see a big increase of housing supply, which is not too unusual across the country here, but especially in Sacramento and of course in Boise, Idaho as well. So Daryl Fairweather went on to say the following here. When mortgage rates were at or below 3%, which is basically for the vast majority of 2020 and 2021, both local and out-of-town home buyers were more willing and able to tolerate high prices. Of course, when we have high home prices, if mortgage rates drop big time, of course, home buying demand is still going to remain strong, right? Mortgage rates have been starting to increase, though, especially this year. But as she says here, at 5% mortgage rates, many are now priced out of this market here. A home's price is driven by the balance of supply and demand, and when demand drops off and supply increases, like it is right now, rapid price increases evaporate quickly. Meanwhile, more than 20% of home sellers dropped their asking prices in April in 7 out of the 10 most popular April migration destinations. Those were these cities right here. For home sellers in these markets, the sharp increase in mortgage rates has knocked some of the wind out of this housing market. They also shared a quote from an agent based in Boise, Idaho, and she said that conversations with prospective sellers are becoming more emotional. As I mentioned, a lot of people think their house is worth way more than they expect, and also they anticipate they're going to be getting 20 offers in 7 days. However, the housing market's slowing down, so agents have to have some difficult conversations with their home sellers right now. And she says here, if the home is listed for several days with little or no interest from home buyers, it's time to consider dropping their asking price. And she basically says here that it's better to do one larger price reduction than many small price reductions. And I actually agree with them regarding that because there's actually a house listed for sale in my neighborhood. I think it's listed for like $800,000, and they actually reduced the asking price by $2,000 after like a week or two. So that's really not going to cause an increase in demand for that house when you only decrease the asking price by $2,000. That's also telling home buyers, I'm not really motivated to sell my house. I'm really not motivated to decrease my asking price. So it's really not giving much motivation for home buyers to have a look at the house or to place offers for the house as well. However, I'm not saying we should do a large price reduction of, 10% of the asking price. I believe that I would say in general, I would say approximately 2% of the asking price. So if you have a $400,000 house, it's been sitting in the market for longer than the average for that neighborhood, then it's pretty reasonable to do approximately a 2% price reduction, or approximately $8,000. In contrast though, it would not make sense to do a $1,000 price reduction because that's not gonna drive any more home buyers to your house though, right? One thing I definitely want to mention too, of course, as well, is that the amount of price reduction should also be dependent on the activity you have. So if you have your house listed for sale, you're getting showings every single day, but you're not getting any offers, then you may want to look at a smaller price reduction versus a house that's been on the market for longer than the normal. So let's just say your days on the market for your neighborhood is, 2 weeks, but you're having your house listed for 60 days without any price reductions at all. you're not getting any showings, no phone calls at all, then of course, for that scenario, you would want to do a larger price reduction than for a house that's been on the market for a shorter period of time. That's just my personal opinion though, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So with that said, have a look at this. This is actually pretty mind-blowing. Here's a share of houses for sale with a price drop in April 2022. This is for 108 metro divisions that are part of the 100 most populous US metro areas. So when you sort this by the share of houses for sale with the price drop in April 2022, this is what you get here. Boise, Idaho led the pack at 40.8%. But look at that, 1 year ago in April 2021, that only represented 10%. So 1 year ago, the share price drops is only 10%. Now it's 40.8%. And also home prices increased by 61.6% compared to April 2020. Absolutely insane. And Cape Coral, Florida was in second place at 32.5%. But look at that, home prices increased 63.8% compared to April 2020. So in 2 years, home prices have increased almost 64% there. That also was followed by these cities here. Also Sacramento here was basically at 30%. 1 year ago is at 20.4%. The median sold price in Sacramento for April 2022 was just over $600,000. But look at this, a gain of 40% in 2 years for home prices here in Sacramento. What I also found to be very interesting is that the national share, according to Redfin, is around 20%. So on average, across the United States, the share of home sellers reducing their asking prices over the past 4 weeks is approximately 20%. But as you can see here at this table here, a lot of these cities here are well over that. So all these cities here above 20%, the vast majority are over 25%. Houston, Texas at 25.7%. A lot of people ask about San Diego, California. They're at 25%. 1 year ago is 15.9%. Here's another thing I also want to point out as well. So have a look at this. Here's a change in the median sold price from April 2020 to April 2022. And Austin, Texas led the pack with the biggest increase in home prices compared to the past couple of years. A gain of 70.7% in 2 years. Absolutely insane. Meanwhile, the share of houses with a price drop are only at 16%, but basically double a share from 1 year ago. So in regards to the Austin market, I actually did a Google search as well for the Austin Association of Realtors. So the median sold price as of April 2022, according to their local association here, the median sold price is $550,000. That's up 19% from 1 year ago. But look at closed sales. Closed sales decrease compared to 1 year ago by 6%, but the average days on the market, or DOM, is basically flat compared to 1 year ago at 18 days. Meanwhile, the number of new listings decreased by 1% from a year ago. However, the number of active listings, which is another word for housing supply, increased 52% from 1 year ago. But pending home sales decreased by 5%. So pretty close to what we're seeing here in the Sacramento area, a big increase of over 40% of housing supply, yet a decrease of pending home sales. However, in Austin, Texas, just like Sacramento, it's still a strong seller's market. So the months of inventory in Austin, Texas is at 0.8 months, which is an increase by 0.3 months from 1 year ago. So comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.